welcome to Afternoons with Ashley. It's good to be back here on the show with you guys. I have some exciting guests coming up that I am excited to chat with and also be able to have them on the show to just explain some of the great things that are going on in Muscatine right now and that are coming up in the near future. So today I have Megan here with me, and we're here to just talk about the Alzheimer's walk that's kind of coming up and how they're adjusting that and making sure that we can still have that fundraiser go on, but in a whole new way, and still make it super exciting and fun for everyone who wants to participate, but also to just continue that awareness and to continue to help the people who need it, which is what the event's all about anyways. So I kind of thought we'd talk a little bit about just Alzheimer's in general, and then talk a little bit about the event, if you're cool with that. Because there are so many people, we were talking before the show, and there are so many people that may have things that they're like, I wonder if that's what's going on, or is it that, life's just busy, or, like noticing something about a loved one. And so I would love to talk about those I think it was a list of like 10 things that are kind of those things that are hints that maybe this is something that might be going on and something to talk to your doctor about.
Yeah.
So do you know those by heart? Are you prepared?
I do not know them all by heart.
Okay, but
I got
some of the main ones, yes.
Some good anecdotes, and thank you for having me on, Ashley.
Yeah.
We've had kind of such an unusual time, but now kind of a quick time to get out this new information, and then we always enjoy being able to share and make more awareness of Alzheimer's and how it affects people. So on alzheimers.org, if you want to see the full list of 10 warning signs, but these are kind of the early things that you may see that you can kind of start looking at, and are these starting to add up, and should we talk to my doctor for my loved one, spouse, or parent a little bit more. And one of them is, we all know memory changes. I even feel it every now and then. Memory changes. But what's the difference between just normal aging and possible dementia, Alzheimer's? And one of those signs is where it really disrupts life. So one of the common things, if you talk to someone for a while, when they make the same comment a few times in the same conversation. So not just we got together and then 3 weeks later we get together again, I tell you the same story. Not really the same thing that happens to a lot of us, but really in that same sit down. The same kind of conversation over and over. That's starting to come in, and really where it's disrupting life. So I can't remember to turn off the stove. Can't remember those things that are really disrupting life. Those are some of the bigger things that you start to see, and they'll be small across the way, and that's what's so hard about it. One of the other ones I was sharing with you is changes in taste.
I had no idea about that.
Yeah, so as you get older, naturally your taste changes a little bit. But with Alzheimer's, it can change a lot. And a lot of times we'll hear stories with spouses who, tensions, maybe some things are changing. And, let's go to dinner at your favorite restaurant and have your favorite meal. Or let me make you your favorite meal that always cheers things up. And and then we'll get back to things being better. And all of a sudden the meal comes out and taste it, and it doesn't taste the same, or you've made it wrong. No, this can't be right. I don't like this tonight. It just causes more tension. That's very common, to not like the same things that you've liked the whole time.
Like the personality kind of changes that you see in people too. That one, it didn't like surprise me, but it was like, you know what? Like that does, I have noticed that in people. And
we have a lot of people who share stories about having a loved one who passes from Alzheimer's, and they really share that story of losing someone twice. So really is that personality changes, and that person that's led them and, you know, been someone that they looked up to or spent their whole life growing a life together becomes kind of someone else. And then again, when they physically pass away. And it's a strange, it's almost harder on the family to really be with them. So you need that support. And that's what the walk is about. The fundraising we're doing is for support groups. The Alzheimer's Association at alzheimers.org has a 24-hour call line.
Yeah.
So if you are at that night and things are just not going right, you need to call and talk to someone. That number is always there. Yeah. And then they're continuing to offer a lot of classes online and virtually as well. So going through those 10 warning signs, and you can ask questions and I didn't realize, could this be what you're talking about? And I'm starting to see this. I was sharing with you earlier, just because this is a very common one, is where you kind of lose your sense of being able to use things the correct way. Switching the remote and the phone, very, very common, not knowing, you know, trying to talk into the remote, or the TV is not working as I change it because they're using a phone or something like that. So just kind of changing some of the uses of those normal, everyday things that...
Yeah, you were even talking about like the brick and how that can be something that people just, you can't come up with the words that you just normally would just kind of roll off the tongue. It would be in describing the wall.
Yeah, you know? I love this brick wall. I love it as a background, but not being able to, every now and then we come up with that word that we don't use very often, and we're like, oh, what is that word I'm thinking of? But for common everyday things, maybe it would be like, I love this wall. The blocks in it are, you know, and just not being able to come up with that brick wall concept and some of those things. So,
yeah, and I'm sure that when you're someone who has a loved one going through some of these stages, that, like you said, I mean, it's tough, and you probably feel pretty alone. And so having a support group where there are people who truly understand it. You know, you can have friends and family members that are there for you and that are trying to be as supportive as they can without truly knowing what it's like to go through it. Yeah. I mean, I went through the same thing, even, I know it's totally different, but when I was going through the cancer stuff, it was like I had so many friends and family that were constantly around me and constantly supporting me, but at times it was like I just needed that person that really understood what I was kind of going through. Yeah. And so I'm sure, I mean, having those support groups for, you know, not only the loved ones or the caregivers, but also the person who is going through it. It has to be so frustrating, especially at those beginning stages where it's just like the frustration of not being able to come up with that stuff, or the word brick that you would use all the time. So how important to have the funds to be able to continue these support groups in our own community, you know, and make sure that there's always that number that somebody can call if they're in that really just a frustrating moment and they need someone to kind of talk them through it. Yeah. I mean, that's important. Yeah. And so that's what the walk is doing, is making sure that those funds are there.
Yep. And then, you know, our goal always is research towards the first survivor. So there's no known, you know, antidote or anything at this time for it, but really that research. So all of those important aspects are what the walk is about.
Yep. And the walk brings so much awareness and just people really, even, I mean, I know this year it won't be in person, but still it's just like bringing this community of people together to see that you're not alone and to see that people care and all of those things. And that's still going to happen, even though the walk is virtual this year. Yeah. I mean, you're still going to be able to feel that sense of community and the sense that there are people around you who are fighting the fight with you, who want to find that, you know, that first person that we can cure. And that's important.
Yeah.
That's what's super cool about this walk.
Yeah, and this year's been really exciting. You've covered before some of the fundraisers that have gone on. There's been a lot of fun with toilets going around town and flocks of. Now I'm missing the word.
Yeah.
What are they?
What?
Flocks of
The flamingos.
flamingos. I wanted to say geese, and I'm like,
They're not
there
geese.
we go.
Yeah.
But the flocking, my mom actually put out a fundraiser to her friends, and she had my kids say, for every $25 raised, they're going to crack an egg on her head. So this weekend,
fun.
she got up to her goal, and we're going to crack those eggs on
Oh,
Grandma's
that's gonna
head.
be fun.
So just
cracking eggs on Grandma's head.
So silly ways, but it brings a lot of awareness.
Yep.
And there are still ways to get involved. So the walk is not quite virtual. Really what we want people to understand this year is while we can't all be together in one group, we can all be together in spirit. So we can all walk together that day. We're just going to walk in our own neighborhood.
Right.
My family is going to head around the Mulberry, Baton Rouge segment there. Other families will be in their place. Wear your purple. Walk around your neighborhood. Walk with your friends, that group that you're comfortable with.
Yep.
There will be elements online. So there is an app that's really easy to get. It's a white with the End Alzheimer's logo in it, or you can go online. And there will be an opening ceremony. So the opening ceremony is where people share stories of why they're walking, and for their colored flowers, the blue flowers for someone actually suffering from Alzheimer's, purple for someone who's lost someone to Alzheimer's.
Yep.
So we're going to hear those stories, really start off your day being aware, getting support. And then throughout the walk, there will be tracks playing and encouragement, and who are our sponsors, and each of those. And then we will have a physical rose garden that you can drive by. And just remember those loved ones, really take a moment to reflect and think about, how it's affected you or the people around you. So there are a lot of elements to engage in that morning on August 15th.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to, be involved, then they would go to the website, and it's very easy to sign up, either with an existing team, or maybe you're going to sign up your own family and just start a new team. Those are both options.
Yep.
And the process is very easy to get involved, and there's still plenty of time to do the fundraising and have that be an aspect, but that's not the only aspect. The fundraising obviously is important, but it's not the only thing. Like you said, the walk, the awareness, all of those things are very important pieces as well. But there's still plenty of time. To do the fundraising and come up with a funny way to make that happen, whether it be a toilet or a flock of flamingos or an egg on Grandma's head. That's super funny. Maybe a bucket of ice water. All of these ideas are now. Of course, I don't want it to be me getting it, so maybe like my husband.
But Ashley's going to give out all of her ideas.
Yes. just contact me if you need ideas. But truthfully, there are just tons of ways and tons of people who want to be a part of this, and maybe it's just posting on social media. A friend of mine posted, she's doing it for the Quad Cities. She lives up there. And she was doing like this bingo card where, it was very clever. People are coming up with fun ways to really get their fundraising goal met and have it be sort of fun and mostly virtual, so that, if that's something you need to have it be. There are tons of ideas out there, and call and flock someone, or call and get a purple toilet in your best friend's yard. All of these things are going on right now, and it's cool to see the ideas that people are coming up with and making sure that the event still moves forward and that it's still a really successful year for the walk.
Yeah, and with getting involved now, fundraising goes all the way through December 15th to count in this year. So when you raise $100, you get a shirt. and it will be mailed directly to when you reach those goals.
Nice.
So, we've already got a large number of our workers who have earned that. And I myself, I come up with funny ideas and I give them to other people.
Yep.
But I just linked my app to my social media and I said, here's why I walk. And I'm asking for you either to sign up to walk too or to support me. And in 24 hours, I raised $120.
Yep.
Because I had people reaching out to me and saying, thank you for supporting this cause. And people that I didn't even know. It's not something you tend to come up with in conversation. And, my mom we're going through this right now. My mom's dealing with Alzheimer's. So you don't even know always who you're supporting when you put that
It's
out.
one of those things where it affects so many people in different ways. So you may not know.
Yeah.
Your neighbor might have a loved one going through the situation. So you don't know. And it is kind of it's sort of a conversation starter too, so they can know that you're supportive of the cause or maybe dealing with some similar issues. And also, maybe it's not that you have a loved one, but you just think it's an important cause and want to be a part of it, and they can kind of feel that love, and it continues to grow and grow and grow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can make it as simple or as complicated as an egg over grandma's head, whatever trips your trigger. The eggs sound pretty fun, so
They're really looking forward to it.
They're
sure.
like,
when are we doing the eggs?
It's probably like, so how many days? How many days? How many days?
From the day we videotaped the segment, they got to throw eggs. And every day it's kind of been like, when are we doing the eggs? When are we doing the eggs?
Yep.
So it's happening.
Well, that's exciting for me. I'm only assuming as a kid it would be even more exciting.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So the community is all in. We've got lots of things going on, lots of ways that you can become involved, whether it be, supporting one of the teams that are already out and doing fundraising, or get on the website, which is
the alz.org
Yep.
/walk.
easy peasy.
Yeah.
You could type it into Google and it pops right up too. And you can pick, our town and all of those things. And it's a very easy process to become involved. I hope that today, after people see the show, if they didn't know about it, or maybe this is the extra push to want to sign up, either as an individual or to sign up as a team, and so that we can get that extra group of people out there being involved.
I looked before we came, we're at 53% of our goal.
Okay.
Which is great. Like I said, there's kind of a lot of that, like, what is it going to look like? And we can't do it. There's always that, like, we can't do it.
Yep.
Let's find ways to do things.
Yep.
So I really appreciate you guys having us out and helping get the word out about how this will look this year and how people can participate, because it is quick notice. And, we have great teams.
Yep.
Impact Athletic Sports Performance has a fantastic team. Bickford and Sunnybrook both have fantastic teams doing great work. So those are public places that if you're looking to get involved, reach out to them and support as well. Senior Resources has a team as well. So those are public places. And if you want a little more info, you can reach out to us or Ashley and get more info.
Absolutely. Just become involved, whatever way fits you, but just get involved in some way. It's totally worth it, and it will be a good time. And you can get your whole family involved.
There you go. Drive through the garden, and then go for a nice walk, listen to some music. So it should be fun, and wear that purple.
Yes, wear purple so that people can ask. And so that you raise awareness while you're doing all of those things. Thank you so much for coming. We will put links in the comments, so it's super easy for you all to get to that website that we talked about. I even will put in some examples of some of the fundraisers that are going on. I know that the purple toilets are still out and about, so maybe you want to become involved in that and help them reach their goal. They might have already reached their goal. They were like so close last night. I saw that they were getting very, very close. So hopefully they've met it, but I'm sure they would love to surpass that goal and just continue on. So lots of ways to become involved. We'll make sure that all of those are easy to find in the comments section, and just be a part of it. It's a cool community to be a part of, and every year, like, I want to be more and more involved. This year it's been kind of crazy with everything going on and working from home and doing, just everything is different this year, you know, but there are ways that we can all become involved. So I am excited. Thank you for coming on. This time we get to be across the table instead of just virtually on our computers. So that's even more exciting. We're getting closer and closer.
A few things.
Yes. But thank you a lot, and thank you all for joining us. If you have questions about the events, you can post them in the comments section if you want, or email Megan or myself, and we'll make sure that the questions that you have about the event or just about the cause in general get answered.
Definitely.
So thank you for joining us today. I look forward to seeing you all again very soon. We have a lot of interesting guests next week, and Jordan from Sunnybrook is going to come on. Great. And we're going to talk about not only the fundraiser with the toilets, we're going to be talking about toilets and school supplies and all of the other fun things that she has going on at Sunnybrook. So I am excited to bring that to you. And Butcher's Vegetables, talk about all their yumminess. It's going to be a good week. Hopefully they bring me a sunshine shake. Smoothie. It's not a shake. Anyways, hint, hint. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you again really soon. And don't forget, until then, that kindness is free. So spread that stuff wherever you go.